Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastagram D&D podcast. This is A Tangled Web, Chapter 18, The Handmaidens.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a cynic.
Do you think I'm a fool, Zy'vir?
No, my lady, of course not.
Then what do you expect me to think of all the time you're spending without a Zune? Or hiding under your null magic blanket? I can't help but assume you're falling back in your old ways, hiding and skulking.
We are trying to keep a low profile here in the city, my lady. There are strong forces at work.
And you think I don't know that, Zy'vir? You think Our Lady below doesn't grace me with knowledge and insight you could never understand? Do you think she doesn't have other and better servants than you down here? I know the ice devil Yoland is dead. I know that half-breed you travel with is hiding secrets he hasn't told you. And I know you went to the surface.
Yes, my lady. I was trying to learn all that I could.
You should know better than to consider lesser gods, Zy'vir. Although the patron of patheticness, that is the broken one, would suit you if you didn't already have purpose.
I live to serve, my lady.
You had best remember your place, Zy'vir. Don't ever forget that you are nothing without me and our dark mistress. A broken, tongueless, frightened husk. But if you can summon whatever strength you have left in there, she will give you purpose.
Yes, my lady. I am waiting for my moment. I won't miss it. Zy'vir walks into the null magic circle and hears silence.
A church of Loth on the west wall. 4 acolytes of Loth lead a dark elf male through a small chapel and shackle him to a spider-shaped altar. They begin chanting a prayer of sacrifice. Behind the altar stands a high priestess wearing a ceremonial robe of dark red silk. One of the acolytes presents the priestess with a sacrificial dagger. As she lifts the blade above her head, we see the tall, arching ceilings of the chapel. 4 figures in dirty, ragged clothes slide gracefully down the walls. The shadows seem to bend around them, keeping them hidden from the priestesses, until it's too late. The shadows envelop the altar, and when they fade, the priestesses lie dead, her dagger in her own chest, the acolytes dead on the steps around her. Welcome back to the Nastagram D&D podcast. I'm your Dungeon Master, Jake.
This is Josh playing Zy'vir, the conflicted cleric wizard luck.
Hey folks, Dan here playing Sylavar the Warlock. Maybe.
What's good, fam? Matt playing Jiddin Duskrin, the rogue.
This is Devin playing Handmaidens Sylai, the Selenite priestess. It's all good.
But I have all my spells today.
Oh, yeah, you found them.
All right.
And let's get down to business. Let's roll some dice. You guys got a little bit of magic because I don't give out a lot of magic items
Or inspiration.
or inspiration. Yep. And you've had a couple big encounters where you got literally no loot, like a dragon. So
Got a
you
soul
found
gem.
a small chest. After quite a bit of work, Jiddin was able to disarm the traps on it and figure out how to open it.
Does he no longer have eyebrows?
As you open this small chest, roll a d4.
Roll high.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now roll 100, d100.
100. Roll 100 before.
I roll 100 d4. All right.
That many copper pieces.
Jake's like, don't say that I never gave you anything.
83.
83.
That sounds like it's on the right track.
That might be too powerful.
Well, no, you can't spit in dice
We're
Christ
gonna
face
fight
like that.
gods.
All right. We'll. All right. Oh,
Oh, listen to the regret
shit.
in his
I
voice.
was going to give you one more item, but I kind of think that's enough.
There's supposed to
fuck
be
it.
4 of
Do
them.
it again. D4. I did 4 items.
Oh.
No, D4.
If you're not
That's
going to
somebody
let
else
us
wanna
use it,
roll
you have
this
to tell
one?
us what it was.
Wait,
Oh, no, I'll keep it.
You got a hot hand.
2.
2. All right, D100. These are more reasonable.
25.
That sucks. Okay, it makes up for the other one.
Fisher Trident command.
Potion to speak with animals.
Fisher Trident command.
Oh, I like that. Completely dyslexic.
You just hold a fish and tridents. Any trident you see.
They just come off flying towards you.
It's just he's just gonna hold like a herring.
I have to consult another chart for that item. Oh, this is scaring me.
If only it was all right there.
It's all right here
See what I'm saying, Devin?
in this
See what I'm
Dungeon
saying?
Master's Guide.
We get an orb of dragon kind that first roll or something.
That's probably something crazy.
Ooh.
Vorpal sword.
Axe of elf slaying.
Fucking boss.
Yeah, we should really get one of those.
Yeah.
All right, I need a player's handbook.
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
I don't. This is getting weird.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Oh, for the spell, maybe.
We're going to randomize this some more. Someone want to roll a d6?
Go ahead, Josh.
We're going to say 1, 2 is wizard, 3, 4 is sorcerer, 5, 5, 6 is cleric.
Cleric,
3-4.
sorcerer.
Okay.
It's a D10.
Roll a d4.
2.
Okay. Inside the box, there is a small sort of container of hand quarrels for a hand crossbow. You eventually identify them and find out they're +2 ammunition.
Bolts.
There's also a scroll. And it takes Zy'vir quite a long time to figure out what this scroll is. But it is a meteor swarm.
Wow. What?
It's a 9th level spell scroll.
Okay.
All right.
We could have gotten wish.
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't include wish in that roll because
Okay.
there are 5 9th level sorcerer spells, and I had you guys roll a d4 because I skipped wish.
Oh, come on. Let's
gotten-
roll the real result.
You could have gotten time stop or power word kill.
Oh, time stop is off the charts.
But meteor swarm is pretty nuts too.
Yeah.
Good way to deal with like the minions. Big fun. Yeah.
That's 20d6 bludgeoning and 20d6 fire damage.
Wow.
Well, not the fire, right?
Depends on who you're fighting.
Well, you could
use that right now on the fucking Shar guys.
you could wipe out Vandry in one go.
Yeah, pretty good at taking out a
40d6
drow
is
house.
pretty
Yep.
good
Just
damage.
bring down a meteor swarm.
In a cave.
All right.
Whoopsie daisies.
Do you guys want to have a little chat? We talked off mic about what's going on, but do you want to or do you want to just jump right in? Do you want to? I think we can jump right in.
Yeah, go for it.
Jiddin and Zy'vir, the two of you walk into this small temple of Loth, a chapel almost. You see this dead priestess on the altar with her sacrificial dagger stuck in her chest. You see her acolytes at her feet. This just happened. Your infravision still picks up the heat of their blood. You just missed them. First of all, what do you guys look like right now?
Jiddin has his mask on using disguise self, and he's just looking like that beautiful male drow.
Zy'vir looks like a dark elf, but different. Pale color, kind of like a light slate gray skin, silver hair, cropped very short and close. And where his mouth would be, the skin is just closed over it. And tattooed where his mouth would sit is a black orb ringed with purple, the symbol of Shar. He still has his cloak. The cowl kind of sits right below his chin. It's a very disconcerting look.
I like it.
I think, for you, addressed for the occasion.
All right. So you guys decided to do a little information gathering on the cult of Shar that have been killing priestesses of Loth. And that's about as much as we talked about it. So here you are. I'm going to say you kind of somehow, maybe through divination or something, knew that something was going on here, but just missed it. Just got here too late. So how are you going to find the cult of Shar? How are you going to find these guys?
Did the sacrifice didn't go through, correct?
Correct. The priests are all here. Whoever they were going to sacrifice is not.
Okay.
And Josh found his spells, so all is right.
Huzzah.
Oh, is Azun on your shoulder?
Azun is on my shoulder.
He is. All right.
Azun is back.
We haven't
How
seen him for
grumpy
months.
is Azun?
I think, time passes differently. But he knows
Where's he hanging out when he's not with you?
in a hell of some kind, probably.
Cozy.
Do you think there's like a break room with all of the minions? The minions of Wizard that are dismissed. And they're just talking shit about their masters the whole time. Like, oh, gotta go.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's like they're playing cards and his hand just falls on the table.
New idea for a role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
You play the familiar of a wizard.
Yep.
Ooh.
People would love that shit.
Oh,
Eat
yeah.
it up. I'm a sexy fox.
That's when you need the Twitch stream.
Yep.
Well, it looks like we were a bit late.
Azun says, yes, looks like someone has done good work here. Zy'vir crosses the chamber over to the bodies, just kind of looking around, inspecting it, kind of envisioning how this occurred. And he kind of starts to settle in cross-legged in the center of this little massacre. And Azun scrambles across the stone towards him, looks at Jiddin and says, the wizard needs my help. And with that lady, I think we will find a little bit more of what occurred here. Zy'vir, with Azun's help, is going to cast divination, putting me in contact with a god or god's servants, asking a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. Connecting with the fresh murders that happen here, using that as kind of the component, the focus. He's going to try to discern where the group that did this will convene next. And it's fairly subjective. There's no role here.
Okay.
The reply, the DM offers a truthful reply. It might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen.
They gather now, close to where you call home. They are comfortable in oblivion.
Azun, as often when Zy'vir's casting a spell, is perched on him, on his knee, and he's staring into that blue eye. Zy'vir, the eye is kind of pulsing, flashes pretty bright. Azun turns to Jiddin and repeats that. They are gathering now, close to our home in the rift. They are comfortable. They are at home in oblivion. Perhaps something you found of the fallen houses. Perhaps there is something there.
Perhaps. Is that all?
Zy'vir stands as Azun scampers off him and just nods yes.
Jiddin searches the bodies.
Okay.
Classic move. Classic.
mean, he's searching the bodies to see if whoever killed them took anything.
They did. They don't seem to have anything valuable on them.
Classic Jake DM move. Still no treasure.
Is that ritual knife still in
It is.
the
It's in her
priestess's
chest.
chest?
Yeah.
Word.
It's probably a +1 dagger, but it's more a symbol.
I think Jiddin would probably take the dagger. It's not the first time he's held one. Well, not a complete loss.
Follow up to that divination a little bit more. To find them, you'll have to take a leap of faith.
There's a lot of people asking Zy'vir for a little faith right now.
Azun says, he cocks his head towards Zy'vir and says, I think we must go down. A leap of faith.
Can you fly?
The wizard can get us there. It isn't even his powers.
Well, unfortunate then. I'd hoped you couldn't.
Oh yeah, Azun can actually fly. He is winged. Yeah, I think we will make our way
Make your way to the Claw Rift?
to the rift.
Okay. Meanwhile, Sylai and Sylavar, two of you are off doing a little shopping, collecting some
Components.
components and ingredients, some black candles, stuff like that. Fun stuff. You're reading over these scrolls kind of as you walk through the marketplace. You want to talk about it?
We're walking through Infernal Keep.
Okay. Yeah, that'd probably be a good place to find what you need.
I have my hood up. My cloak is dark again.
Sylavar's eyes are kind of scanning, looking for the right storefront.
Sylai has been sort of whispering prayers in some language, but she's essentially praying for protection of her soul as we're going about this whole business. I think she seems uncomfortable.
When was the last time you summoned something?
I can summon woodland creatures. I can summon friends of the land. I do not summon demons or angels or fae. I don't like any of this.
It is transactional. It is necessary.
I understand, but
Zy'vir probably helped give you some instructions.
Yep.
yeah, like what to get.
He has summoned demons before.
Yep.
Not every transaction is fair or just.
But it is necessary. He pulls out of from underneath his cloak a small piece of parchment that Zy'vir had written down other additional ingredients that help strengthen the summoning in terms of making sure that it's as safe as possible within means.
So
Sylai pulls out another list, a piece of parchment that she has. Says, and I'm going to find things to protect us. I read up in Candlekeep on wards, ways to protect ourselves.
circle protection.
I think that's a cleric spell.
Oh, it's not on the druid list? Oh, that's crazy. Protection from evil. Circle of protection from evil.
Magic circle might be on there.
Magic circle. So you guys have a pretty easy time finding what you need in this part of town. And a lot of it is if you buy it piece by piece, it's not as obvious
What we're doing.
what you're doing. I mean, people, oh, you're trying to summon a devil? I mean, a demon? That's normal. I mean, it's kind of normal here. Actually, especially Yakloth, they're summoned all the time, to be honest. But it's usually by people who are faithful.
We kind of reconvene on the streets as we've both gone our separate ways to buy these components. And Sylavar says, "You have everything you need."
I hope so.
You guys start heading back to the Claw Rift?
Yes.
All right. Is there a specific spell that you wanted to cast, Evan? You want me to give you a minute to look it up?
Yeah, give me a minute to find it.
We'll go back to the Claw Rift, back to Jiddin and Zy'vir. The two of you go back to the ruins of House Duskrin. As you enter that same place where you had a conversation with Sylavar, you hear your brother's voice in your head again. And he says, "Do you really think his secret has been so safe? Do you really think Mother didn't know what he was?"
How could she? Fool, I'm a fool.
Zy'vir Jiddin says that out loud.
I think he's used to it enough. Zy'vir looks down into the darkness, and he casts a spell, Arcane Eye. You see, he makes his incantations, and Azun rasps out the words. A fist-sized ball forms in his hands that takes shape. See its pale, kind of light bluish silver. You see it start to take form and resemble an eye. And then as his hands keep moving, it disappears. His hands keep moving in a circle. And then he sits down cross-legged on the ground, and he extends his hands out. You see him sit back, and that blue eye of his start to pulse strong as he moves his hand out and then down. He sends the Arcane Eye downward.
So the Claw Rift, this part of it is this massive kind of gorge that separates two parts of the city. And the bottom, like there's all these like walkways and stuff that kind of cross it, and there's different tunnels that lead in and out of it. But there is no bottom necessarily. Like people don't go to the bottom. That's not a thing. Because of just the way that your vision works, your dark vision has a limited range. Even your Jiddin has that devil's sight, but it is a limited range. So, peering off the edge and into this thing, it does just look like blackness, even though you can see in darkness. And
Zy'vir has that also, by the way. Just,
has what?
The devil's sight.
Yep. Can you use it through the thing? You use like all your normal...
no
vision.
No, it is dark vision.
Okay, but you do have devils. That is good to know. I didn't know that.
That's one of his.
So basically, this thing goes down until it's out of like visual sight of both of you, and you're kind of concentrating, looking through its eye, and eventually it enters magical darkness. You kind of pull it back up a little bit and move it around. Start moving it around the chasm, and you realize that below you, in sort of in the middle of the chasm, like there's this area that is magical darkness. But because it is in actual darkness and because of how far down it is, you would never know.
Azun turns to you, Jiddin, says, "Down below, hidden in the darkness, it's a deeper darkness. The wizard think that is where they hide."
Well, shall we go?
Yes.
3 out of 4 players in the party have devil's sight.
Yeah, that's wild.
Why are we not dropping globes of darkness everywhere?
Zy'vir lets the Arcane Eye go, and
where is it?
He puts out a hand and puts his hand on your shoulder and just kind of nods and goes to step off the edge.
Okay.
He actually moves his hand under your elbow. He casts Levitate on himself, and then as we step off, casts Featherfall. So keeping Jiddin.
Why both?
Levitate so he can control us.
Okay.
if we get into the darkness and we're not like Featherfall,
Cool.
you can't control.
Okay.
So that way, if we have to stop, he can bring us to a stop. And
All right, cool. So as you guys float down, I'm wondering I'm wondering with Devil's Sight, like, are you aware that there's magical darkness?
I feel like you can sense.
I would
that-
imagine like there's a haze.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
you
shimmer
know-
on the.
Yeah,
soap
or
bubble.
maybe I don't know if you can turn it on and off or not. But yeah, you can see this sort of hazy area ahead of you, and you know that if it wasn't for your Devil's Sight, then you wouldn't be able to see into it.
He kind of reaches out as he sees it and looks for like a landing spot.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing off the stone as he needs to
As
guide us.
as you get a little further down, you realize that there's actually this natural sort of cliff, like ledge, that sticks out from the side of the claw rift. On that ledge, as you're coming down further, you see that the whole thing has been sort of set up as a little, like a campsite. And there are 4 figures standing around this campsite watching the two of you float down. Once you get within 120 feet or whatever the range is on your Devil's Sight, you see them. You see that they're looking up, watching you come down.
There's a swoop as small shadowy figures circling, flying around the two of them as they come to land, trying to guide us to not like land in their midst, to like off to the side of the ledge. We set down. Zy'vir takes his hand off Jiddin, and Zune flies down and lands on his shoulder.
Jiddin, you immediately notice this campsite. There's it looks. I say campsite, but like they've got beds. Like it looks. They've been here for a while.
Okay.
They live here, and more than 4 people live here. Probably 8 to 10.
Okay.
You see 4 though. They're standing around, like kind of surprised, watching you guys come in. They're all wearing dirty, ragged clothing. Nothing. No armor or anything like that. Maybe you spot weapons, maybe you don't. They're kind of under the cloth, under the clothing.
Cool.
Quick retcon. I cast darkness centered on us. As
So much darkness.
we were like from the top.
Okay.
So we were coming down
Okay.
on our own orb of darkness. And so as we land, and Azun lands on his shoulder and looks towards this group, and Azun says, "All must face the darkness." Zy'vir flashes his cloak with the purple trim on the bottom and cocks his head towards them.
One of them steps forward, a woman. She has a gray, dirty hood on, and she says, "For in it we are whole."
Zy'vir gives like a half bow.
She takes the hood off. You see her long black hair and her black eyes. She's Drow. She is a Duskren.
The dark haired
God
Duskrins.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, back at the home base, not far from where they are, the preparations have been made. You've created a summoning circle, lined it with all of these arcane runes. Outside of that summoning circle, do you have more protections?
There's another circle.
Another circle.
And this one is drawn in, so it shines significantly after I cast it. Mercury, phosphorus, and powdered diamond and opal. And it's in this, it actually uses some of the runes that Sylavar you remember from, that we saw in House Laurel. The runes of undead warding, but they're different. There's crescent moons at opposite ends, and then a full circle, and then an outline of a circle at the other cardinal directions. Sylai has cast Symbol, a 7th level abjuration spell. I'm not going to read the whole text for you now, but there's a very specific trigger, and there's a very specific effect. And once Sylai draws the circle, she stands within it.
What's the trigger?
The trigger is if Sylai steps out of the circle.
Okay.
And the trigger, I'll just put the little nasty gram right there.
Level 7 spell.
It's crazy.
You are ready. Sylavar standing near the summoning circle.
She takes a deep breath, nods.
Begin.
Whoa. You're not summoning this thing?
I have this, or I have the scroll. I can read it.
I thought you were
I will.
I thought of it more as a group effort, but
Yep. I'll summon it.
you don't think
You're
Sylai
good.
being
You're
on
good.
that? No.
You have a whole parchment from Zy'vir with a lot of detailed
with a lot of
instructions.
notes. Sylavar turns to you after he sees kind of this radiant magic come from the floor up as you cast an unknown spell to him. And he waits a moment longer and he says, "You are ready."
Sylai looks, her eyes trace the entire circle. She looks back at you. She nods.
At Sylavar's feet are pieces of parchment patchworked together to lay out the steps of summoning this demon. And he begins kind of that rhythmic chant. He hasn't done this sort of spell casting in a long time, since his days as a student at Sorcerer.
When you were a student, both of you, you saw one of these things be summoned once. It was in the great church of Eric Tinilith, and it was a dozen priestesses chanting praise to Loth and bringing this thing forward. Being here now, thinking about that other life you lived, the idea of one male half-blood doing this alone is crazy. And the room, the air almost grows thick, like it's harder to breathe in here. The room, it's not so much that it becomes dark, it just becomes sort of stifling. It's hard to concentrate on things. It's hard to breathe. You're not just bringing forth a demon. You're connecting to the abyss. You're opening up a portal to the abyss, and you're asking a handmaiden of Loth to step through.
It's Sylavar asking for that. Point forward, it's not me.
Your senses kind of grow dull and murky, and then suddenly you smell this sort of acidic, almost rotten smell. There is a fog in that circle, and as that fog dissipates, you see this thing, this horror, standing. Not even standing is the wrong word, because it's what's the word they use for non-Euclidean. it's so otherworldly that to describe it as standing or sitting or whatever just doesn't seem right. They describe these in the books as looking like a half-melted candle.
Yep.
And its form is sort of constantly shifting. It's constantly sort of melting and reforming. It has these long tendrils that come off of it that are sort of reminiscent of spider webs, but then they twitch and move in weird ways. And in this thing, its body, its form is constantly just in motion and chaos as it melts and reforms. It twists, and part of the top of that candle-like form opens, and this large red eye turns towards both of you. Sylai, how are you feeling about this? You're probably having a little bit of a crisis of faith right now.
I'm disgusted, and it's just being back in this place.
When it speaks, it doesn't speak out loud. It speaks telepathically to both of you simultaneously. And you just hear this anguished scream say,
How dare you summon me?
I understand that you are in the habit of making deals.
that eye kind of twitches, almost like glitching in and out of existence, and turns towards you, and it grows wider as it sort of focuses on you. Again, it says,
How dare you assume to deal with me?
It is not you who I wish to deal with. It is your mother, Loth.
What could a creature such as yourself possibly offer? The Spider Queen.
we're going to pause there. This woman looks at Jiddin and Zy'vir and says, how did you find us?
Yeah, I think in this situation, Jiddin is probably like deferring more to your.
You got the lead on this one,
Yeah.
buddy.
I'll back you up.
Azun, the cowl of Zy'vir's hood falls back, revealing his visage that he's put on, that symbol of Shar, over his non-existent mouth. And Azun says, the lady keeps secrets from all, but we recognize the secrets of others of her followers. We have seen the good works you've been doing here in the city. We are here for our own reasons and wish to learn more of what you are working towards.
I'm impressed, Zy'vir. You hear the voice in your head.
Tries to not react to that.
Finally, getting back some of that old motivation you used to have. It's good to see you being more proactive.
Zy'vir casts Detect Thoughts, not breaching into anyone's mind, but he starts to step a couple steps forward towards them, kind of making like he's looking around the camp and just letting his mind touch on their surface thoughts as Azun keeps talking.
They're very distrusting, cautious, but interested in the fact that both of you can see, and the fact that you seem to have a lot of the same magic that they have. And one of the thoughts that you read is that one seems to be able to read thoughts as well.
Zy'vir lets his eyes settle onto that one, and Azun says, the lady, always, multiple courses she pursues. More than one work towards same goals. And that way alone, we are similar to those spider worshippers. The lady has her own webs. One of our goals cross paths with yours. Zy'vir turns towards Jiddin, makes his hand for the dagger for you to...
Jiddin produces it, holds it flat in his palm.
The woman who talked to you guys originally, she turns towards the others and she says, keep getting ready. They stop kind of paying attention directly to you guys and start collecting gear and getting ready to do something. 4 more appear that were invisible and keep doing the same thing. And she steps closer to the two of you. And she says, you're both worshippers of Shar?
Azun says, my master has served well and faithfully for a century and more. We do not wish to disrupt anything that you are moving towards.
Matt, as she comes closer, you realize this is your sister. She was a priestess of Loth. This is the one that was in the cutscene. She must recognize you. I mean, you're wearing. Oh no,
No, I'm pretty.
Okay. So she doesn't.
Azun says, we have goals here, targets, some houses that must pay old debts. And we follow some wishes of the lady above.
What are your goals? What are your targets?
Some houses have already paid the price. 2 in Taro for one.
That was a long time ago.
The lady's actions take time. And we have served.
She looks towards her men and she says, I don't trust you.
Then you are wise.
How do I know that you're not spies of the Spider Queens?
Let us show it to you.
She nods and smiles.
Let us trust through blood shed.
Then keep up. She walks over to her.
What are the rules on
People.
undercover?
Can't take any drugs.
They start strapping daggers under their clothes, and they all walk towards the edge of that cliff to the wall of the chasm, and then they all start climbing quickly. It's impressive. You don't know if it's magical or not, but they start climbing up out of the rift.
They've all moved on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Azun says, they are fellow worshippers. We must prove that we are on the same side. Do you need help getting up, Jiddin? You see, by Zy'vir's reaction, you can see that was Azun poking you, not Zy'vir's thoughts. But then he looks at you and he...
I have warned you once before, imp. Speak not of your master's will, and it will take a while before you show again. And Jiddin will turn and start climbing up the wall.
Cool. Give me a athletics check.
I cast spider climb
I figure on him.
on Jiddin.
Oh, okay. Then you don't have to make a check.
Okay.
How are you getting up? Same thing.
In a
Or
way,
you might still have. I don't know.
I
how long
don't
left
because
it
I
lasts.
cast detect thoughts, but
Oh,
I'll
right.
have to cast it again.
I mean, I think Jiddin would probably get up on his own without spider climb. It won't be as fast as them.
Making
but-
you look. I want you to fucking motor up there.
So one thing you guys notice as once you get up there and start following this group, they're masterful at blending into crowds. They look very nondescript. There's nothing about them that looks like special, you know. And whenever they are going to cross paths with anyone who looks like they're more than just a commoner, like they might notice something about them, they disappear. They just vanish into shadows. A couple times you see some of them actually literally disappear into a shadow and then reappear into another one.
I've moved through crowds with Jiddin before, so I know that he's just going to make it. I'm not going to see him.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just going to follow
Yep.
them.
Yep. The leader, who hasn't given you her name, she makes sure to stay within sight of you as you follow, but her team sort of disperses. They spread out. Jiddin, you've worked with Bergendarth in Waterdeep, and they're that good. They're these 9 people. They work incredibly well as a team. Everyone knows their sort of position when they're traveling. Like everyone has like a specific place where they're watching. Like this person's on the rooftops. This person takes point. Like they've been doing this for a while, and they're really good at it.
Okay. I'm probably taking note of who holds what position, but I think his main focus is going to be on his sister.
They use a decent amount of magic, but most of what they're doing seems to just be more training than magic.
Okay. It looks like they're burning spells, though.
They're monks.
Yeah.
So not a lot of like arcane chanting.
Yeah.
More just like something more spell like ability.
Okay.
Arcane technique.
Mm-hmm. as you're making your way through the Many Folk district, the marketplace, and you're heading towards the center of the city, and it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly that you're heading towards Narbandal. And she lets you catch up, Zy'vir, and she says, if you are truly not servants of the Spider Queen, then you'll prove it by killing one of her servants. And then maybe we compare notes.
Azun says,
once we know you can be trusted.
let us show you the blessings she has given us. That's how it talks. Let us show you the blessings she has given us. Cool impromptu combat.
Yeah. She points to her mouth and says, is that a blessing?
Yes. Blessing giving.
She nods approvingly. You've got pretty good insight, right? Decent.
Yeah, +7.
You get the impression she's pretty fanatical in her worship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real true believer kind of thing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got to put on a little show for him.
Yeah, she's excited for Zy'vir to do this thing.
Meanwhile,
what is it you want, devil spawn?
What I want is an exchange, a fair one. I have to offer perhaps what is most valuable to her. Her followers. All of them.
You dare to threaten the followers of Loth?
I do not threaten them. There are other gods and movers that lay plans to end Menzo Berenzin. Sylavar starts pacing. It's kind of a habit he has now when in dialogue. He's pacing the circle of this thing. There are forces in play that will level the city. And she must know, she must feel the cuts in the dark.
Priestesses of Lolth lie dead in the streets. Written in blood, Lolth is weak. This must displease your mistress.
Step closer, devil.
He does.
you step into the
No,
circle.
no.
One of those tendrils kind of comes up, and it's almost like caressing this invisible barrier. And it says,
What could a mere mortal as yourself do to help the Spider Queen?
Me and my kind, those that I surround myself with, hold the keys to their entry.
you hear it laughs. It's this weird kind of gurgling liquid laugh, but in it, almost like an echo in the distance, you hear a woman's laughter.
The keys of sigil, he says, kind of almost in a reply to the laughter. No, trying to suggest that we actually have the means.
What is it you want?
Power.
No, that is not what you want.
I wish the means to save my wife's soul and to ensure my family remains in hell.
You hear that laughter again. Zy'vir and Jiddin, the two of you get to this rooftop of a building. You're in Narbandalen, that really nice section of the city. The streets below you are lit with fairy fire. And up ahead, at the base of Narbandal, there's this sort of gathering area, this big open area. And you see that there is a group of priestesses that are gathered there. there's a circle. There's these arcane runes on the ground, but in the middle of all of them. And they're chanting. They're saying praises to Loth. You notice these followers of Shar spreading out across different rooftops, getting into position. Matt, you can tell they're calling targets. You can see them gesturing to each other, getting into position, saying who's going to do what. They are using hand code, and a lot of the time they'll be in a globe of darkness, but they can see into it, which you guys can do as well. And you know that when this fight starts, they're going to silence those priestesses. They're going to put silence in that area where they are, and they're going to put darkness in that area where they are. And then they're going to shadow step into that darkness, and they each have targets.
Cool.
You relay that to Zy'vir maybe, so he's aware of what's about to happen.
Yeah, I think from behind you, you hear Jiddin's voice kind of appear out of nowhere, and he almost whispers it in your ear. They are quite organized. They remind me of the old crew from Dragon Death.
Remind me of the good old days.
Yeah.
I love this shit.
Zy'vir, she says, how do you get your orders?
He just taps his head.
She speaks to you.
Man, if you wanted to get some tonight, you are totally in.
Azun is on his shoulder, the one closest to her, and he speaks quietly. My master was lost in the darkness. She came to him. She rescued him. He serves her, and he serves her well.
I remember you. She says, I remember from another life. I too was lost in the darkness.
In loss, there is strength.
What do I say?
He said both sides of them.
Oh, okay.
He's really now having kind of a read on her. He's just playing into the fanaticism, trying to demonstrate his cred, his Shar cred.
For us, she comes in visions, cryptic riddles. I don't understand why she asks us to do what we do.
Even to my master, it is not always clear. Some goals, but there is always much unsaid. That is her way.
Soon. She looks out. Soon. You notice those priestesses chanting louder, asking Loth for favor.
How many of them are there?
10. Back in the Claw Rift. Sylavar. It says,
Step closer.
I know the conditions of a circle.
Do you think this could hold the will of Loth?
It is about access. If I step across that circle without a bargain, he shrugs his shoulders and almost he kind of gives a partial smile.
Sylai is quietly whispering the words of a magic spell. Takes a minute to cast.
What I want to know, demon, is this a deal she'd want to take? That is what you are here. You are a messenger.
it suddenly, that constant kind of chaotic movement stops. It freezes. If you're like watching this as a movie, you would think like the screen froze.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the swirling kind of mist I described around it like freezes in place. It just is static. You can finish your spell because a few minutes go by.
Okay.
Sylavar as the
Friendship?
No.
Sylavar, his eyes kind of flash to you after like 10 seconds even of this, let alone a minute. And he says, what has gone wrong? Sylai.
She finishes, she whispers, and then she points her finger. She says, "Do not fear, Sylavar, for it cannot harm you." Give me a wisdom saving throw for the Yockel. And this is a charm effect.
What is this?
friendship.
What are you casting?
This is Geas. I place a magical command on a creature, forcing it to carry out some service. Or I can do like a forbidden...
Bold move, Cotton. See how it works out for him.
22.
Okay. It's not bound by my command. I just commanded it that it would not harm Sylavar.
It starts moving again. That eye opens wide and it looks right at you. You're right on the other side of the circle now.
Yep.
That eye looks right at you and it says,
Do not dare to assume that you would know the will of Loth. For her machinations are beyond your mortal comprehension. But she will give you this boon.
Very well.
You will know soon enough what it is she wants. But the death of Malkasid is first and foremost on that list.
The death of Malkasid.
The boon she grants you will last only until this task is carried out.
This is what she wants. I must have my wife's soul.
Then you must go and get it.
Sylavar kind of lets out a slow breath.
There's more. The Queen of Spiders does not waste her time on those that are not worthy. If you wish for her blessing, you must prove that you deserve it.
its body starts twitching and writhing, and it turns into a giant spider, but it's still made of that sort of melting wax, and it steps out of the circle.
Okay.
And roll initiative.
Oh, wow!
Meanwhile,
Skeleton Jim and the Bone Trinity.
They're hanging out.
I told him to wait in the back, though.
she says to you, we'll take care of the priestesses. Prove that you are not a loyal servant of Loth. Kill her handmaiden. And you see this mist coalesce and a Yocloth appear in the circle.
My
Roll initiative.
Wow.
Jake's like, I only want to prepare one encounter, so. Okay.
All right.
There's going to be a lot
Bugloths
of...
all around.
There's a lot of things. All right, I'm glad I'm not going to need the Shar cultist stats today.
21.
All right, so Sal and Sil.
Just say Sylavar, and it's just our two names together.
Sylavar.
Yep.
The Sylavar.
The
and
royal
then,
we. 21 for Sylavar.
and then Jiddin.
Yep.
Sid.
It's a couple's names.
Zy'vir.
Yep.
25 for Jiddin.
11, Sylai.
What'd you get, Salvar?
21.
21. What'd you get, Josh?
17 for Zy'vir.
17.
Matt, is Jiddin looking at me the same way? Is Jiddin looking at Zy'vir the same way you are looking at me?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Like, the fuck did you just get me into?
We'll jump back and forth instead of like mixing it up, so we'll do Sylavar's first and then Zy'vir. So this spidery, oozy, waxy monster steps through the barrier at with the will of Loth as if it wasn't there. It still only has one eye, that one big red eye, and it looks at you, and it enters your mind.
Great.
Sylavar, you get a glimpse. Even as it's attacking you, it's helping you. It is pure chaos, this thing. And you get a glimpse of the Citadel of Bronze, which is something that you've probably heard of. It's in the Nine Hells.
Yep.
And outside of it, you see something being constructed.
Okay.
And then this thing attacks you. Well, you attack first, actually. You want initiative.
I think he's going to, as a bonus action, he's going to cast Hex on it. And it will get Devin. If I was going to give it disadvantage on saves.
That's going to be ability checks. Strength.
Yeah, Hex is ability checks, not saves.
Oh, ability checks?
Yep.
Okay.
Strength. Go strength.
Strength.
Okay.
And he'll attack twice.
Go for it.
Excuse me. He's going to not do Hex. He's going to do Hexblade Curse, rather, instead. And he'll attack twice. A 20 and a 29.
Both hit.
Okay. 53 damage. Do you need it separated?
None of it's poison, right?
No, just necrotic and slash.
Okay. You cut off some of these spider legs, and they just kind of melt into the floor and then melt back into this thing's body. And then its form actually shifts almost instantaneously back into that candle-like form. And those tendrils whip out and try to hit you. What's your armor class?
16.
You take
How many hits?
one hit.
I gotta roll a d6.
Okay.
If it's 4 or higher, it misses.
Okay. What, are you blinking?
No, it's the Armor of Hexes.
Oh, okay.
I think it's around 10th level. You get it? I rolled
Cool.
a 6, so it misses.
All right. How does it miss? Just
So
like
the tendril, is... I think it's kind of rocketing towards me, and it somehow deflects off and changes at, a completely different angle. It's a very kind of chaotic reflection.
cool.
Yep.
After it does that, where you cut off those limbs, there's these kind of gaps in its body that don't seem to be really healing, and this gas starts pouring out of those and just kind of filling the area. Can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Sure. 22.
You're good.
That whole resilience feat, giving my proficiency bonus to Constitution,
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
pretty awesome.
Yep. Sylavar. Sylai.
Still the same.
Sylai.
I see that. So it's the Yocklaw and the spider.
No, it's just
Oh, it's
one
just the
creature.
Yocklaw.
Yep.
Sylai, this creature sees it strikes at Sylavar, and then there's that sort of strange movement. And from the corner of its eye, it sees more strange movement as now, coming out silhouetted from the runes of that symbol is a displacer beast. It's this big black cat, and it's also shifting. Those big tentacles are up, and it sort of bounds forward, and 2 of these tentacles come slashing out. That's a 20. It's a yeah on the yeah dice. And then a 19 to hit.
Both hit.
You want it all together?
As long as none of it's poison.
20 bludgeoning and I'm sorry, hold on. 1 was a critical hit.
Oh? Oh, yeah.
23.
23,
It's bludgeoning.
20 and 23?
No, 23 total.
Okay.
Bludgeoning and piercing damage.
The critical hit made it a 23 instead of a 20.
I rolled a 2 and a 1 on the
Ugh.
other 2d6.
All right. You whack it with those displacer beast tentacles.
Yep. And my druid feature, my druid circle feature, those attacks count as magical.
Nice. Give me a constitution saving throw as you move into the cloud.
17.
Okay, you good.
Nice.
Jiddin, you see this cloud of mist appear. You feel the air grow heavy, and then you see this thing.
As soon as it starts to form and we are given our sort of task to prove ourselves, I think Jiddin immediately breaks from Zy'vir's side and moves for cover. I don't know if there's like a rock, some sort of outcropping.
You were on a roof, not pretty close, but you probably get behind some sort of like window or something like that, you know, like a...
Yeah, he's trying to hide.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, 30.
Yep. Can't beat that.
That's like 3.5 skill checks.
Yeah, no.
So he is hidden from this Yugloth, or from,
Yeah.
and he will... well, nobody can see it, but his beautiful drow face, there's almost like there's a ripple in it, and you can see these obsidian veins in the mask sort of glow, and this power pulse out from it. I'll cast Mind Sliver. DC 15 intelligence. You have disadvantage because I'm hidden.
Okay. It normally has advantage on all saving throws, so it'll be a straight roll. But it's intelligence.
Yeah.
I got a 13.
Fail. So it takes 9 psychic damage, and you have to just subtract 1d4 from its next saving throw until the end of my next turn.
Like it.
I can't believe I'm just now asking this question, but you can't backstab, or you don't get sneak attack damage on that?
On spells?
I don't know.
think so. I don't think on spells.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
I'll double check, but I don't think so.
No, it's only if it's like when you're wielding a light or finesse
Yeah,
melee
okay.
weapon, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Zy'vir.
They haven't... The minions haven't gone yet?
Oh, they have.
They have?
They all
Okay.
go before you. After Jiddin, before you. The ones that were on the roof with you step into shadows and then appear right behind their targets.
So so this is darkness.
And then darkness. You're not up there, so you're not in the silence,
Yep.
but darkness and silence.
How far away are we?
Say 30, 40 feet, something
Okay.
like that.
Azun turns to the... Is she still next to him, the priest?
Nope,
Or
she
went in?
up.
Okay. Azun casts a spell with Zy'vir, and in the center of this swirling darkness, it's almost like the darkness breaks off itself and starts to coalesce into a shape, and Zy'vir summons a shadow demon,
That's very Shar-esque.
trying to get some real street
Sharp
cred.
Yeah. Street cred.
And can I
Stench street
say
cred.
when I got some of those demon names,
Oh,
there's
okay.
a lesser demon that I might know its true name.
Oh, cool. Like that's why you're summoning this one.
Yes.
Sure.
And Azun is extremely excited because this is like his
Like uncle or something.
big bro. And it is going to attack the Yokul. Does the Yokul have true sight? Does it have advantage if it's in darkness?
No, just dark vision.
Okay. Then 22
That's a hit.
does 17 psychic damage.
So it's a really big list of resistances, but psychic is not one of them.
Poison.
Is necrotic?
Oh, what did you do?
Asking for a friend.
Psychic.
Okay. Don't know. We'll see. Okay.
And as bonus action, I take my horrible visage, which I think is actually, in this case, back to Zy'vir's real face, twisted.
Okay.
And that's it. He moves a little closer, staying on the rooftop. That's it. So this demon is summoned. I can command it for free. It gets a saving throw at the end of every one of its turns. It has disadvantage because I know its true name. But if it breaks it, it'll attack who I tell it to. If it breaks it, it'll attack whoever wants around it.
Okay. Josh and Matt, you guys both give me wisdom saving throws.
Someone casting a spell? Not that I'm aware of.
It's a innate spell casting. I don't know if that matters.
No, I'm asking. Counterspell it.
Yeah, I guess so. I just gotta look it up. Yeah, you want to try to counterspell?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I should have. The demon acts on its own initiative. My demon.
Oh, okay. It wouldn't have acted like necessarily when you summoned it.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine.
Wisdom save. Unless I can counterspell.
You can try to counterspell it. Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. I think that's gonna be good.
Fifth level spell.
Got it.
Okay.
That's huge.
Huge.
Then you guys are good. Do nothing else.
Can you tell us just for flavor for the kids at home what that
We're gonna
was?
find out right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
Everyone else around you is going to drop dead.
Yeah, identify a spell.
Circle of death.
Back at the other fight. You're gonna find out in a second.
But yeah, you guys are gonna get it.
So they don't have counterspell.
No, I took the spell. Right? Took the spell. I should take counterspell though. Get rid of tongues.
I don't have access to counters.
It's hard because I only have 3 spells.
So Sylavar, you're up.
Okay. Sylavar will do. I cheated last time. I didn't get the D6s, so it gets 5 life back. 5 hit points.
Okay. All right.
Sylavar is going to take 2. He's going to cast Hex this time as a bonus action. Now I will get the D6s, and he'll take 2 swings at it.
Wait, you know more than 3 spells. You said 3 slots.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean. But so you burn a counter spell. I mean, it is a big deal, but yeah.
It is the 5th level, though.
That might miss. A 16.
It's a miss.
All right. 7, 30 damage.
30?
Yep.
One slash.
Yep.
Crazy. Again, you cut off one of those tentacle things. This gas continues to pour out. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty. 18.
You're good. It then it casts a spell on its turn.
Okay. I can't do anything.
Okay. It screams this high pitch, horrible scream from the abyss of a million tortured souls. Can you both give me a wisdom saving throw?
A million of them, actually.
Yeah, 1 million saves. If you fail 1, you die.
Rolled an 18, so that's a 24.
That's enough.
With a +9 bonus, I got a 22.
Jeez. Okay. You guys take half damage. Hold on.
Is Wisdom one of your proficient saves, Devin?
It is.
Yeah, same here.
We all got wisdom? What do you have, Matt? For rogues or
He must not
Dex
have.
and-
I have +0 on wisdom, so that counter spell was big.
Jake, the Displacer Beast has this ability. It's called Avoidance, but it does not mention dexterity or anything. It's a specific type of save. If a Displacer Beast is subject to an effect that allows it to make a saving throw to take only half damage, it instead takes no damage if it succeeds on the saving throw and only half damage if it fails.
Kind of weird. It's a Sonic.
Yeah,
How do you read
I you know, the rules lawyers will yell at me because I know I'm wrong. Rules is written, but I don't see how you're avoiding a scream.
Okay.
Yeah, their nature is like to
I mean, it's
move,
like, yeah,
right?
because really that's what they do is they kind of pop from one, they make illusions so that they look like they're in other places. I just don't see, and I also wonder if you were looking at the full description, if it would say Dex. It doesn't make any sense to me that it would work,
Okay.
right?
And
I mean,
rules is written, you couldn't be a displaced beast, so.
yeah,
gotta
that's
take
true.
good with that.
That's true.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah, so I don't feel bad not giving it to you.
Sure.
So take 15 damage.
It's just all the good GMs
Well, take
that
30
said you should let us do.
30 half, so 15.
What kind of damage?
Psychic.
Actually. I'm at 69.
Yo. Just gonna get that through 3 more times. Europe, Sylai.
Europe?
Yep. Coming at you from across the pond, 10 feet away, actually. I'm going to continue striking with my tentacle things. Sort of, I'm moving around, sort of stalking it. Maybe I get close to Sylavar.
I need to make a concentration check.
Can we flank this thing? Can we like move around this thing? So try and get a.
Sure.
I don't think that does anything mechanically.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's okay. It's pack tactics, you know. One of them probably misses with a 12 and then a 19.
The 19 hits.
The difficulty on 15 damage for a concentration check is just
10.
10. Oh, man.
Half the damage of 10. Sorry.
Cool.
12 bludgeoning and piercing damage.
Okay.
Sort of hopping around, striking at this creature, trying to just knock away parts of it.
All right. Back to Narbandal. Jiddin.
Still hidden from behind the building or whatever he's using as cover. Jiddin will cast Fairy Fire centered on this thing.
Okay.
The DC 13 Dex.
And it's minus a D4 to its save, right?
Yeah, and it has
Smooth,
disadvantage, but
Yep.
flat.
It's a nice
What's the
little
DC?
setup.
13?
Yeah, DC 13 Dex.
Failed.
Shit.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah, I got
Are there
minus-
any
got
Shar
minus 3 on
worshippers that maybe got caught in that fairy fire?
No, they're staying fucking clear of that monstrosity.
Word.
And they're killing priestesses. But yeah, it is lined in fairy fire.
And I will use my movement to move closer. Not engage with it, still
Sure.
stay out of the way, and then cunning action to hide from it again.
All right.
25.
Okay, you're hidden. Zy'vir.
Okay. Zy'vir steps up, so he's standing exposed on the edge of this building, and he just points a finger at the creature. Azun runs down his arm with Azun's little clawed hand, like extending out even further towards it.
Like a anime.
You need that extra 5 feet.
Yeah.
And he's casting Inflict Wounds, upcasted to 5th level, using his ring to range cast that.
I was looking at that spell too.
And it's not going to change what I'm going to do, but for flavor text, can you tell me if it is resistant or immune to necrotic damage?
It is not.
So, Zy'vir's that eye just goes solid bright blue and sees this creature as the shadow demon kind of swirls around it, reining it in, and everything kind of hyper focuses, and it looks that one red eye towards him, and he uses a natural 20 on the portents.
Ooh.
And
10d10 coming in.
14.
14d10.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. It's 3d10 plus. Yep. So many dice.
I rolled the d20 in there.
It's funny, you could get 10 damage.
Yeah.
Or 14 damage.
77 necrotic damage.
Not those numbers.
Nope. I was getting out my d10s for that too.
All right, you're ahead of the other team now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What does that look like?
I think it doesn't look like much. He's just pointing
Yeah.
towards it. but if you could see in the darkness, this creature kind of like desiccates in a way.
Yeah.
Like that melting candle kind of like draws back, and I think it like the whole thing kind of compresses sponges, like in Stranger Things when Elle like uses her power on like one of the mind flayer dog things, and it kind of like I think it kind of like looks like that, and it just
Nice.
squirms.
Sick.
And then I'll have the shadow demon go after me.
All right.
It will attack this guy again. 17.
It's a hit.
That's a hit.
Yeah, I missed with a 16, I think.
It's another, I think, 17 psychic damage.
All right. Back to the claw rift. Sylavar.
Sylavar kind of, again, sidesteps to position himself. I know that mechanically it doesn't give us advantage, but with the Displacer Beast on the other side. And
Looks like 2 Displacer Beasts on the other
there
side.
you go. We get locked in a triangle. And he's going to use his bonus action to cast Vanishing Smite.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if where he's at with hit points, but he's going to take 2 swings at it. There's a crit,
Oh, yes.
because I crit on 19 and 20, and another hit. So I'll do the...
You do the math. I'll get back
Yeah,
to you.
sure.
Sylai, why don't you just hold tight? Jiddin, what are you doing?
My work might be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of a cool one-liner. That's your job.
With this thing ringed in violet fairy fire, Jiddin draws his rapier from his hidden position and leaps out at this thing and strikes it. Natural 16 to hit. So,
That'll hit.
32 piercing damage from my rapier. And then bonus action, I will disengage from it and like do a couple of like somersaults back away to move out of range of this thing.
You don't have to, because that 32 did it. That was enough.
Nice. Sweet.
So, how do you kill this thing?
What does it look like? Weird melted candle thing
Yeah.
with a giant eye?
I'm showing him the book.
Okay.
It looks like it has like it's sprouted like a potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does
Really
look kind
scary.
of plant-like, except imagine that it's like constantly kind of melting and growing back.
I think Jiddin rolls out from the darkness, and as this thing is like melting and shifting forms, he like leaps onto it and using his like nimbleness and acrobatics, he like jumps up and dances around it and gets up close to that eye, stares directly in it, and just inserts his rapier right into its eye.
Sexual.
For a moment, you actually lose your grip on your rapier as the eye sort of starts looking all around, and the rapier's kind of going with it as it starts twitching, and then you manage to grab it and then push yourself off as this thing continues to kind of melt and grow faster and faster, and then all of a sudden, pop! It's just gone.
Cool.
There's just this cloud of noxious gas in its place.
Yeah, so Jiddin just before it pops, he removes his rapier and like somersaults back through the air off of it, lands, wipes his rapier off on his pant leg, and just slides it back into the scabbard.
You feel a hand on your shoulder. You kind of reflexively almost attack, but you see that woman. She like pats you on the shoulder and nods approvingly. Dan?
129 points of damage.
Wow.
Fucking fuck.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I critted when I smited, so...
Yep. 129.
Yeah, and it
had
makes
a-
us save too.
Oh,
if it's-
yeah, right.
yeah.
It had
goes-
150 hit points, and you'd already done 113. So
Got it.
you overshot by over 100 there.
Yeah.
Is that a record in this arc?
Not for for this arc.
For
Yes.
this arc? That's pretty good. First time you've used that too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does this look like? You banish this thing with a strike? How does this work?
There's a quick cut that removes a tentacle, and then that kind of it lays it bare as he brings the sword round over his head. And the damage that the banishing strike is force damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks like as he cleaves this that it kind of this rupturing force from within it absolutely implodes the whole thing, and it just kind of spatters across all the walls.
Nice.
Yep.
As that happens, that portal in the middle of the room pulls you towards it. You see these webs that kind of grab you and pull you into it. And for a moment, everything sort of becomes claustrophobic. Like the air is pushing in on you. Meanwhile, back in Narbondal, you guys are... They quickly kind of roll the bodies for anything worth taking and then leave them there. One of them scrawls a message with blood on the cobblestone.
Zy'vir just dismisses the shadow demon before he loses control of it.
And then you're out of there just as quickly as you arrived. Back at the Claw Rift, they're pretty somber. They don't celebrate. They don't seem like they're all a lot like Jiddin. They never seem like they're really like, living life so much, having fun, but she comes out over to you. She's cleaning her daggers, the blood off of them. And she says, you truly are blessed by Shar, as is your friend. Let us compare our objectives and see how we can help each other.
Azun says, some of us born in darkness, some find it, and she finds those that can best serve her. And now we have found each other.
As I said, I don't really know her will. Who could? I simply do as the visions tell me. We killed a devil in, the place there.
Infernal Keep?
In the Infernal Keep. Took books about keys. She gestures to a table, and you see the books sitting on the table.
You slew Yoland.
She shrugs, like she doesn't know his name.
The lady also sent my master for him. You had gotten there first. That was the first we saw of your work.
All I know is that we are preparing for something. Something is coming. And we are to prepare the city. Ensure that chaos is out of control.
Yes. Yes. Perhaps the lady, she always knows more than us. She has all the secrets.
She's been planning this for quite some time.
Those books, my master can learn from them. Can seek to use what is needed
She nods.
to find her way.
She says, take them. You know where to find us.
The time will come. This whole city. The time is coming for it.
Very soon. She smiles. Not just this city, though. I think it will be many places.
Azun looks excited. Zy'vir tries to remain less reactive.
You get out of there?
He gathers the books, gives the Shar fist bump,
Nice.
and we make our way out.
Sylavar. As the air sort of thins and you become more aware of your surroundings, you hear voices on the wind, cries, screams, laughter. you feel the wind blowing. You feel the earth beneath you kind of in flux. You realize that you are no longer in Faerun.
Good.
And in the sort of darkness that surrounds you, you hear a voice. And she says, I do not want you to stop this. Not entirely. You have seen what they're building.
Flashes.
12 great doorways in the 9 hells. They mean to open them. I wish for the one to my city to be opened, but not the others.
That may be a difficult request. You want to see your city burn?
No. I want to see my children come together.
Sylavar's like slowly casting his eyes through the darkness. The gate to Menzo. If it is within my power, it will remain open.
But this is what he wants as well. He thinks it will be my end. He thinks it will be the end of Menzo Berenzin. It will not. Kill him. Kill him. Open the gate, and I will allow you to maintain your... I will allow you to be blessed by my power until you can retrieve your family and be free of that place.
We have a deal.
You see a woman in the darkness. She's wearing a dress that seems to move, and as you kind of focus on it, you realize that it's entirely made of spiders, and it's just kind of writhing across her body. And in like a flash, like celerity, she's in front of you, and you feel a sting on your arm, and you look down and you see one of the spiders bite you. Sylai, the Yoklith disappeared, and as soon as it disappeared, Sylavar fell unconscious. He's lying on the ground. At first, you think he's dead, but he's not.
I'm kneeling over him.
Like, is this going to happen every time I fight a demon after you kill
Yeah,
it?
fucking Sylavar is getting sucked into like every time he kills something.
And he kind of starts to come to.
Sylavar.
Yes. The deal is done.
Where did you go, Sylavar?
I met with the Queen of Spiders.
Oh, well, that's where we'll end it.
Mission accomplished.
Level up.
Whoa!
My goodness.
Dan, feel free to make some dramatic changes to your character sheet. Thank you for listening to A Tangled Web. Please, if you have time, tell a friend, write us a review, or, just go out and shout it on the rooftops. Check out all of our different social media platforms. You can go to our website and find links at the bottom. There's probably also links on whatever you're listening to right now. That's nastygramrpg.com, and definitely check out the socials, because I tend to put little things on there to help with NPCs and visual aids and whatnot. Our intro music was by A Wilhelm Scream. Theme song is Oath by Adrian von Ziegler. All scores by Adrian von Ziegler and Antti Marttikainen. Thanks for listening.
That's nasty.
Dan,
That's like what, a whole new spreadsheet for you, bud?
Yeah.
what's your charisma
Or don't.
save?
I mean, it's up to you.
My charisma save is plus
Yeah.
10.
roll
Jesus.
roll one.
Plus 10?
Yeah. I rolled a 4. 14.
So Sylai leaves. She hears that, and she leaves the protection circle, And the moment that her back foot lifts up off of that symbol, you are filled with despair for 1 minute.
Interesting. I don't think I needed that to feel that way, but sure.
When it's triggered, the rune glows. It's dim light in 60 feet. So think of the metaphor of, you making this deal, and now this magical warding rune triggers, and you are filled with like despair and fear while you're inside of it.